Hello everyone, Asher Alrani here from Essential Elements of Healing. And in this video, I'm going to introduce you your instructor, Dr. Ronald Peters, which is the co-creator of this course. I have empathy to what you might be going through because I was there. And I can tell you that about 50% of the work of getting better is finding the right source, finding the right person that gives you the right guidance. 2 years in the making and over 40 years of experience, Essential Elements of Healing is one of the best places that I can attest for that could give you the best chance for your body to heal. So without further ado, Dr. Peters, I'm handing it to you. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Asher. I was trained at UCLA School of Medicine many years ago, and I began my family practice with the tools that I had learned. And I realized pretty quickly that for complex diseases like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, and most chronic diseases, I was simply giving people a symptomatic medicine. I was managing diseases. I was not curing them. During that time, however, I listened to a lot of people explain what was going on in their life prior to the onset of illness, what their lifestyle was like, what their mind style was like. And I learned a tremendous amount, which led me into the study of integrative and functional medicine. And now I understand how people can heal chronic illness by making the changes in their lifestyle and their mind style so that they can reverse chronic disease. It's based upon the principles of integrative or functional medicine, which unfortunately is not taught in medical school.
What are the most important lessons you learned from the thousands of patients that you saw over the years? What is it, 40 plus years? What is the most important things that you can tell us?
What I learned from treating patient after patient for many years is that I listened to the stories they were telling me, and I listened in detail. I listened to what their lifestyle was like, what kind of foods they ate, what level of exercise or what their days were like, and very importantly, the stressful life experiences that occurred prior to the onset of illness. And then I began to apply these things to what is now termed integrative or functional medicine, where you look to restore health in all the systems of the body. And then I began to see much greater improvement. Functional medicine means to restore function with all the systems working together. In conventional medicine, we think of specialties. You go to a doctor for the digestive tract, a doctor for the cardiovascular system, a doctor for the endocrine system. But it's one orchestra playing together. And in order for the orchestra to sound good, you need to address all of these issues simultaneously, and you can't simply rely on symptomatic medications. You need to help people understand the importance of diet, the importance of treatments which are usually based on nutrients, hormones, and natural things to restore function in the body.
Got it. Okay. So for the viewers, maybe you can describe what a chronic ill patient look like. What is first of all, what is the definition? I know that you need to be ill for a period of time, but what a chronic ill patient look like?
When I would see patients coming to my practice, they were quite often had seen a lot of different doctors. They had a lot of information with various laboratory tests, but quite often they weren't comprehensive laboratory tests. They did not address all of the different systems in the body. They were involved in, they had rising levels of frustration. They were fatigued and despairing. My approach is to take a careful history to understand what the person is complaining of, and then to evaluate every system in the body, the digestive tract, the nature of the diet, the immune history, hormonal issues.
And all these systems are connected to each other. So this is the essence of functional medicine, to look on the body as whole.
Yes, it's like an orchestra, an incredibly complex orchestra, and you need all of the players playing together for the music to sound right. In our medical world, we specialize, which is good for doctors, but it's not so good for patients. They need integrative and functional medicine to understand their illness, to replace their frustration and depression with a plan that will help them start to feel better. And that's what would happen. We would do an evaluation, get some lab tests, and then do a plan that aimed at restoring health. And when the first few weeks, people would feel better. They understood what had happened to them on multiple different levels, mind, style, and lifestyle, and they were encouraged. And we continued the process, and people got better.
And it sounds like I think part of your book, and also things that you mentioned in our conversations, the innate body's wisdom to heal. So we giving the body, we're removing the stressors, and then we're giving the body the chance to do what it does best for the entire lifespan, is getting better, is healing, bringing back the balance. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, exactly. The body is complicated beyond scientific understanding. The best we can do is to promote health in all systems. Regardless of what the initial complaint is, all the body systems, digestion, immunity, thyroid, adrenal, hormonal system, they're all part of the orchestra. You need to promote health in all systems, and there are new and emerging levels of laboratory testing to explore the diversity of systems in the body, and treatments are based upon nutrients in many cases. Changing diet is extremely important, and most of all is to gain understanding about how this all happened, and to begin to make sense of it, and to embrace a plan that produces results within a month.
And gut health is a big part of all that complex situation that many people find themselves in, the chronic illness. Can you talk a little bit about gut health?
Well, the digestive tract is absolutely key. When you think about it, when you have digestive troubles and you go to a gastroenterologist, they will often, they'll look for gross pathology like ulcers or bleeding sites, and then they'll label the problem with something like irritable bowel syndrome or ulcerative colitis. These things do not say what the cause is. What I've learned is that you need to eliminate certain foods, because many people have delayed onset food allergies. You need to understand the impact of antibiotics in the past, even extending back to the time of childhood, the type of diet people have, and change the diet and explore the microbiome, and then the digestive symptoms will go away. They will go away. There is no medication offered by the pharmaceutical industry that can correct irritable bowel syndrome. It depends on understanding through testing and other tools the many features of digestion assimilation.
We are loaded with all kinds of body burdens that cause us to be ill at some point in our lives, because the body is doing a very, very good job in hiding the symptoms until there is a tipping over the edge and you start falling. And that's exactly what happened to a lot of people. I think you would agree. You would agree with that. My next question is, from your experience, what chronically sick patients needs the most? I think it's guidance. Maybe you can expand on that from your experience, but maybe you know anything else that chronically ill patients need.
Well, they need guidance. They need guidance based on evidence. They need to understand what's going on with all systems in their body, what's influencing their digestion, the foods they eat, the historical experiences with antibiotics and sometimes alcohol and people eating lots of sweets. They create these understandable patterns. They need to understand their thyroid, their adrenal function. They
Sounds like education.
Yes.
Okay, so they need guidance and education, and I agree with that 100%. And really, this is what we give in this course. It takes about 2 years to put it together, and for a reason. We need to find time in our busy schedules, but we also need to think how to serve it and the technical parts, and everything put together is 2 years that you can consume in that course. I don't know, self-paced, so as fast as you want. But this is a big time saving. Now, this is not to say that it's replacing any doctor that a patient is working with. Obviously, they can consult with you, but this is a great source to start asking the right questions. Finding answers has to do with the ability to ask the right questions, and in order to ask the right questions, you need to be educated about the topic. So, okay, so I want to move on, and can you explain a little bit more? And I'm sure that you have a lot to talk about this topic, but I want you kind of to give a taste for the viewers about chronic stress and how we play part in chronic illness.
Stress is perhaps the biggest toxic experience in the long run. Our ancestors had simple stresses. Our ancestors living on the earth would run from a predator because their sympathetic nervous system is solely designed to escape danger. So the sympathetic nervous system increases blood pressure, tightens up the muscles, diverts activity from the digestive tract, thickens the blood. So if they have some injury while they're trying to survive a stressful experience, they will survive. It's a very powerful sympathetic, it's called the fight-flight nervous system. It enabled our ancestors to survive danger. The paradox is that same sympathetic nervous system is now causing illness and death in modern people because it's activated so much. Our ancestors ran from predators. We sit on the couch and worry about what could go wrong next month. It's all various degrees of fear. Worry is everyday soft fear. Seeing a predator is intense fear, but they still activate the sympathetic nervous system to some extent. When the sympathetic nervous system, the fight-flight system, is elevated, increased, then the parasympathetic nervous system, which governs long-term projects in the body, such as good digestion, strong immunity, good hormone production, it is automatically suppressed. So when people stay in a state of fear, worry, stress, they suppress their healing systems in their body. We need to transform that stress into understanding and knowledge, to understand the power of the mind and the importance of putting together all of these different incredible parts of the body wisdom, and then people start getting better. I often tell patients, you can't be a gazelle in a lion's den. That the stress is too much. There's even a syndrome called limbic lock, where many people with chronic disease are persistently in a state of fight, flight, arousal because they're worried about their disease. They're frustrated, which is anger, about their life experience. And all of these things sustain their dis-ease by elevation of the sympathetic nervous system. When they come to understand these things, then they have knowledge. They look to replace fear and worry with good intention, understanding the body, doing the proper integrative and functional medical tests and therapies, and they start to get better. It's almost guaranteed.
Right. There are many good books about the topic and the limbic system you just mentioned. And I from personal experience, suffering from chronic stress is something that you don't know about unless you are educated about the topic. You understand what it is, and then it clicks. Then it's like, oh, wow, I'm just acting that way without knowing for the past 3-4 decades. So how do I get out of that chronic stress that produce toxicity in the body because of the level of hormones that are being pumped to our bloodstream and doesn't let our body do what it does best, healing? I think we cover everything that we need to talk high level about this course. And I want to thank you, Dr. Peters, for your time. And we'll see you in the upcoming lectures presenting the 12 modules of essential elements of healing. Thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you, Asher. I look forward to it.